It's freaking hot. And this isn't as bad as it was yesterday. So it's been rainy for a while. And I haven't been able to get this project done because of the weather, but it's not supposed to rain today. So I'm hoping I can get it done. So I was on my way to get some breakfast when I stumbled upon this adorable shelf that my neighbor was giving away for free, and I saw it and I was like, if this thing is still there when I come back from breakfast, I'm gonna grab it and I'm gonna take it home. And it was, so it's mine now. It's not in the most amazing condition, but look at all the little hearts. It doesn't really fit my room, this wood. I have like light wood in my room. I'm not experienced enough to try to strip this and restain it into a more fitting color. So I'm going to spray paint it. This is the idea. It's gonna be white. The whole thing is gonna be white. Wow, so creative. But these shells, each one of these shells, I'm gonna make like a different color gingham. That's the plan. I don't know if I'm gonna color these hearts a different color too, but that's the ultimate goal. But it's so cute. It's so freaking cute. It is, like I said, it's not in the best condition. There's wood missing. I need to buy some more hardware, but yeah, for free, you can't beat that price. You can't beat that price. I'm about to go over to Ace Hardware that's by my house and just, you know, get some spray paint, because I thought I had white spray paint. I do not. I ran out of white spray paint. I kind of have every other fucking color, but not white. So I'm gonna go grab that spray paint primer so that I can just go to town and start painting right on top of it. Probably wipe it down, give it a little bit of a clean, and get started. I wiped it down, the front and the back. It still looks pretty ashy, but it's gonna be painted, so I'm not worried about that. But I am deciding to go in with some wood filler. Had this already, to try to like just go in and fill some of the gaps, make it a little more secure. So it did rain, as you can see, but I think it's done now. At least that's what the weather said, but I have been lied to before. But I'm gonna take this opportunity while there's still some daylight outside to do some sanding and get the primer on. This is how she's looking after putting some wood filler on some of the gaps. It's not perfect, it's still kinda rough around the edges, but you know, it's not like I'm gonna be licking the thing, so I guess it's not extremely important to have like a super smooth, crisp finish. And I was gonna put some on the back, but then I remembered it's going on the wall, so there's no need to do any of that either. I just did a very basic sanding and dusting job of the project. I have a bunch of sandpaper next to me, but I only ended up using one grit because I was kind of impatient and I wanted to hurry up and get to painting. And as far as the spray painting job goes, I was pretty impatient with that too. I didn't feel like waiting for the coats to dry, so I think I applied it a little heavier than I probably should have. Because it was so humid outside, it was going to take it a long time to dry anyway, so I figured I would just go for it. And I mean, it turned out fine. While I was waiting for the wood filler to dry, I did come up with a couple different color compositions, trying to figure out how exactly I want it laid out. I know I wanted a couple different colors. I don't know, but this one was my favorite. This one was a pretty strong contender too. This one was the first one that I did, but I think it needed some more color. I just kind of, this one was too, I don't know, that one was too like elementary school. I don't know, they all have the same colors. I don't know if that makes sense.
Recently, Arrtx reached out and asked if I would like to try their new line of acrylic pumping markers, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little hesitant at first because I did try some pumping markers by them previously on the channel, and you guys know that I wasn't really the biggest fan of them. They were fine, they just weren't my personal cup of tea, but since I did have this project in the back of my mind, I figured I would give them a shot. These markers are supposed to have more ink on the inside of them, they're supposed to have better coverage, and overall they're just supposed to be way juicier. So we're just going to try them out. We're going to see how they do. I like that this set comes with a swatch sheet because you guys know the manga set of just regular brush tips did not come with a swatch sheet. I had to make my own. So I like that they included that because I did not want to have to do the math to grid off 72 squares. This line of markers is pretty cool actually because they have these interchangeable nibs that you can just pop off and pop in anytime you feel like it. By default they're going to come with a 3mm kind of like it's like a dotting tip. You also get a 1.2mm dotting tip, and then you get the typical brush nib that you're used to seeing with the acrylic markers. I actually like the inclusion of these kind of firmer tips because you don't always want to have such a big variable in your pen pressure. Sometimes you do need the more consistent line. I will say that these are pretty big, like if you're doing like line art on a typical kind of sketchbook drawing, but since these markers are so juicy, I don't think that you would be using them in a sketchbook anyway. These are more for like, I don't know, pieces that you're doing on like a canvas or like a watercolor paper or something like that, if I'm being honest. So far they are living up to their name though. These are really juicy markers, and I'm having a way easier time pumping these ones than I did with the previous ones. It took me forever to pump the previous markers and my wrist was hurting by the end of it, but it took me less time to pump 72 of these markers than it did for me to do, what was it, like 60 of the other ones. So already I'm preferring this set to the previous one. After filling out this swatch sheet, they are definitely way more juicy than the previous ones were. But because they are juicier, they do take way longer to dry, so that is something to keep in mind. If you are going to use this into a sketchbook, just make sure that you leave it open for a little bit and make sure you kind of like regular paint, kind of hop around across the page because they do take a while to dry. That's good for the coverage, but if you're just kind of doodling around, I don't know if these would be the best application for that. I'm just going in and comparing the size of the different nibs. So this is the 3mm one. You're supposed to use like a tissue to take them out, but I just used my bare hands and I actually hated that. I hated that I did that, but they're really easy to just pull out and put in. But when they are in, they don't feel like they're just gonna fall out. Like they're pretty secure, even though you can take them out really easy, which is nice. The brush nib was way harder to pump though, because I was worried about ruining it, so I did kind of manually pump it in and out with my fingers. But no, they're pretty neat. They're pretty neat. This is what they look like washed. These are clean. Okay, they are clean. There's no paint in them, but they stained. So like for the 2 minutes that they were in the pen, they're stained. So I wish there were extras of these. While I was waiting for the primer to dry on the shelf, I decided it would be a good time to bust out the clay and make something really quick. I had been wanting to make a new coaster for my drinks for a while because I had bought like these coasters. They're supposed to mimic a sandwich. They're super cute, but they do not have a lip on them, and I drink a lot of cold drinks. It's hot, it's summer, you know how it is, and they sweat a lot to the point where my desk has a puddle on it even though I have a coaster because they're sweating so much and there's no lip on my coaster. So I was going to make, or I wanted to make a coaster that had a lip so that I didn't have to deal with that anymore. the original idea for the coaster was just gonna be like a little maybe like a fruit design in the middle. I know I wanted kind of like a scalloped edge, and then kind of like a, what is it called, like a pounded nickel type of finish on the sides. But the idea quickly developed into me wanting to make like a pond, so it ended up turning into like a fish pond. I am not a master sculptor by any means. I don't even have like the proper tools to do it, so I just kind of slapped some clay together really quick, and I got something that was good enough for me, and that's what it's looking like. This took forever to dry, by the way. It is so hot, it is so humid in Illinois at the time of doing this that the clay was just not drying. It did crack, as air dry clay does, so you know that was expected, but oh my goodness, this took forever to dry, and that right there would be the death of me, actually. The weather and this clay, because it was so hot, because it was so humid, and because the markers were so juicy, the markers were reactivating the clay like really quickly. And I've used acrylic markers on air dry clay before and have not had this problem to the extent that I had it here. And it is not the fault of the markers, it is the fault of the weather and the fault of the fact that I again failed to prime this. I didn't think that I had to. Again, I did not think that I had to, because I've done this before, but no, it was a mess. The brush was getting clogged up, or I should say the marker was getting clogged up from the reactivated paint. I had to, oh, it was a mess. So I actually ran out of primer when I did the shelf, so I couldn't prime it even if I wanted to, and I was not going to spend another $10 on a can of paint. So I had the bright idea of using gouache to act as like a barrier to try to keep the paint from touching keep the clay from touching the marker paint. And that was a terrible idea, by the way. It was a terrible idea because the gouache made it way worse. It's acrylic gouache, so I thought that it would be fine, but the gouache made it way worse. Now the clay was wet out of the bank, and it was just a miserable experience. It took me hours to do this thing. It should have took me like maybe an hour, but it took me forever. And you see, I didn't learn my lesson, because here I am slabbing on more gouache. Mistakes were made, guys. I don't know what to say. I'm getting flashbacks to this experience, and it's the freaking wood all over again. It was just, I was having a really hard time, but I got it done. Me dabbing it worked. It took forever, but me just dabbing the marker up and down coated it well enough. And after several hours and years off my lifespan, I got the base coat done. It was good. Now for the fun part was planning out the fish and painting the water. I decided to go for the darker color for the fish, so I'm going to change that shortly. And yeah, I was going for like the Animal Crossing fish shadow vibe. I don't know if I put enough fish, I don't know if I put too much. I think that the idea comes across well though. But yeah, I'm just gonna be painting fish and water. I learned how to paint water, and so now I like doing that. I'm not very good at it, especially when I am not digitally doing it, where I can just move the layers around myself. I have to manually put them where they're supposed to go. But no, it turned out pretty decent. And that is what that looks like all done. The resin really just adds like another oomph to the piece. It looked kind of garbage before it was all shiny, but now it looks good. And I want you guys to know that I still hate resin with a passion. I'm not a fan of it. It stinks. It doesn't smell that bad actually. I'm being dramatic, but I hate it. It's messy. It is dangerous, but boy does it do what it's supposed to do. Oh, and by the way, it doesn't fit the new mug that I bought. I was so mad. I was so mad. I bought that mug the day that I finished this thing and it don't even fit.
I decided on this color combination. The lighter colors are going to be the main color, and then the bottom colors are going to be the kind of multiply colors for the gingham. And I think that looks pretty decent. I'm kind of iffy about that purple just because it's so desaturated, but there wasn't another purple that was light enough that was more saturated. I think I just have to pump the marker some more because that color and that color, they're supposed to be the same color, but you can see that they are not. So I think I just have to pump the marker a little more before I use it. But that's how it's gonna look. I'm hoping it's not gonna be too dark, but I didn't want it to be too light either. And then also I just there weren't that many pastels in this pack. It's more saturated colors. This is what it looks like after spray painting. Nice and white. It was a primer and a paint, so I'm able to paint right on top of this. I thought I filled all of the nail holes, but I very obviously did not. But I honestly don't care enough to go back in and do it. I do not have the patience for that. So I'm going to start masking off some stuff, and I think I'm going to color these hearts first. Whose idea was it to hand draw gingham on here? Was it your idea? It wasn't my idea, so it must be your idea. Because I spent hours drawing this gingham pattern, and I want to die. I am so tired of doing this, but it's finished. So now I can go ahead and actually paint it. I already taped off the areas so that I don't get paint anywhere else. This is how the hearts are looking. And yes, this better be cute because my night is gone. I just finished coloring the base color on all of the shelves. I think it looks so cute right now. but I am still debating whether or not I'm gonna add like the darker color in the cross sections. I think I might try it on maybe one of these at the bottom so that it'll be easier to cover it up, because that was the original plan, and I'm wondering if I don't want to do it because I'm feeling lazy or if I actually don't think it'll look good. So I should try it out first. No, chat. I think I could. No, the gingham looks so good, brother. Oh my god, look at that. It's gonna look even better once it's all shiny and top coated. And the lighting in my room isn't very good. But yeah, it's late. It's like 2 a.m. I got work at 10, so I got to, I'm gonna peel the tape off, I think, tonight, and then hopefully tomorrow, weather permitting, I can do the spray paint. Oh, what is that? There's some yellow on there. I'm gonna take my white marker and just kind of erase that a little bit. The white of this marker and the white of the spray paint are not the same, so I gotta do what I gotta do. And I think that looks pretty decent. But yes, and the color combination, chef kiss, brother. The only thing is, as I was saying before, this marker set doesn't have too many pastel colors, so the lightest colors are the ones that I use for like the lighter part of the gingham, and then the next color up were these darker colors. So I would have preferred it to be overall more pastel. The darker blocks do kind of bring the piece down a little bit, like the hue, I don't know, it makes it look darker than I would have wanted, but overall I think it looks great. Okay, I have to film this before it starts pouring again, but this is what it's looking like. The back is not painted, but the front is. And I did put that top coat on, so I don't know if you can tell, but it's shiny. I think I could have done with getting like, oh shit. I think I could have done with getting like that super shiny coat, but I didn't want it to be too much. Hindsight, it would have been fine, but I didn't want it to like be like car shiny. I just wanted it to be like glossed shiny. I don't know. Either way, like a IKEA furniture shiny, that kind of shiny. And I think it's that, but it could have stood to be a little more. So, but now I gotta put the mounting shit on the back. I don't want to use power tools. Gotta find my mom's stuff and get that hung up on the wall. Let's go. All right, and this is how it's looking all hung up. Ignore everything that's going on over that way, but I think it's so cute. It's not like center because I have like an outlet there and a garbage can, but if I had a piece of furniture that was, anyway, no, it looks good. I don't know what I'm gonna put on it. Not much fits on it. Like this Febreze bottle just barely fits right there, so it could be like a knick-knack shelf. I usually have a candle right here, but obviously I gotta get rid of the candle now because this is right here, so I might get a wax warmer instead. Maybe I could put like a fake plant. Bro, my battery just died. That was rude. But I was saying that maybe I could put like maybe like a fake plant or something. Stuff that I don't think that I need to access too often, just because the shelf, you know, it's an older shelf. It's a little warped, so I have like a little furniture stopper. Can you see that? Hold on. Head out. I have like a furniture stopper on the edge of it to help a little bit, but it is kind of uneven. So yeah, but Success. Success.
Okay, I didn't film an outro. I was supposed to, but I didn't. So here we are, just chatting. My overall thoughts: I really like my shelf. I really like my coaster, and I do really like these markers. I will not be using them very often, honestly, just because I'm a digital artist, guys. I am a digital artist. I do not know why almost every single video on my channel I'm doing traditional stuff. I don't do this normally. I draw on my iPad, I draw on my drawing tablet, and that is what I do. So you will be seeing more videos like that. I was not expecting this video to be so long. I know it's been a long time since I've posted a video. I could come up with a bunch of excuses, but it's gonna all boil down to I have extremely poor time management, and I keep telling myself that it's going to get better, but it never ever does. So, I am glad that I even got this video out, because these videos, these clips have been sitting in my camera for a little longer than I think I would like to admit. Hopefully I can get back into the groove. Filming digitally is way easier for me to edit than all these little vlog type clips. Not saying that I'm not going to do them anymore, but you will see hopefully more content from me, and that more content is probably going to be like digital drawings, just to get more stuff out, you know. But yeah, I apologize for my absence. Don't know if anybody was hearing, but I will be possibly posting more videos. I'm not gonna commit to anything because you're not gonna hold me to anything, okay? You're not my mom. You're not the boss of me. And this way I can't be held accountable if I go back on my word. And I think that's good for everybody. So you're not disappointed, and I'm not being held to standards that I probably will not meet. Yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching. I getting a little more comfortable with the camera, getting a little more relaxed, getting more into the groove. Do I have anything to say? That discount. 15% off. 15% off. It's not an affiliate link or anything, but if you're gonna get them, you might as well get them with a discount. And you got until the 13th. If you're in, I think, Australia, you got until today. So I would pick them up if you were wanting to grab those. This is a long outro, and I'm gonna sign off now. See you guys next time. Bye bye.